Welcome to Animal Posse, the podcast dedicated to the people and rescues making a difference in the lives of animals.
Today, we're joined by Vicki Davison from Kindred Sanctuary, a passionate advocate for animals and the heart behind a rescue dedicated to giving animals a safe place to land, heal, and find living homes. We'll be talking rescue, compassion, and the incredible stories that come with saving lives one animal at a time. Hi, Vicki. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
I am interested in hearing all about your sanctuary and rescue. So before we get started, why don't you just tell me a little bit about yourself?
About me is I obviously love animals. And I've always wanted a lot of animals when I was growing up. I actually wanted to be a veterinarian, but instead I went to nursing school. So back when I wanted to go to veterinarian school, it's not like being a veterinarian today as far as dogs that bite or and not being able to be controlled away from their human parents. So I chose to go toward the human side. But as soon as we found our place that we have now, I knew exactly what was going to happen. And it started with two feral cats. That's all it took was two feral cats looking hungry.
Tell me about the place that you have. And I guess when you got your place, was this the intention for it or did you just happen to go in another direction?
When it kind of happened to go in that direction, because like I said, it started with two feral cats that we were feeding. And then it's like they went and passed out a memo to neighboring feral cats. And before we knew it, there was a lot of them on the property. And we took them in to get them spayed and neutered. And some of them were very friendly. And I'm like, it's too bad we couldn't find them a home. So then I started looking into what it would take to become a 501c3 nonprofit and also getting my license through the Department of Agriculture for a shelter license.
What is your property like? Do you have acreage? Is it in the country?
It is in the country. We have 5 acres. Currently on our property, roaming the property, which is our sanctuary, is 40 cats. And then someone surrendered 3 goats to us. 2 of them were pregnant. Now we have 9 goats. We have chickens. We have livestock guardian dogs. And then, of course, we have 8 rescue dogs on the property.
That's awesome. I did a similar thing. I would like to ask you too about your setup for your cats because we have country property. We purchased the property. It's a lot of acreage. And I always wanted to have an animal sanctuary too. We found this piece of property. It was perfect. It's in the country. It's in a very rural area here in Louisiana. And we've got a lot of work to do still to put it all together, but it's in the works. It's in the beginning stages, but we're working towards that. What is the setup that you use for the cats roaming your property to keep them safe from predators like coyotes and stuff like that?
With feral cats, you can't really, unless you fence it, which a cat can climb a fence. We tried putting them in a catio and they did not like it. So the one thing about feral cats, and they usually have colonies, and it's better to just leave them alone, let them go about their business on the property. We do put out places for them to sleep. So if you're going to do that, I would put them kind of high up, and that helps keep them off the ground and not so accessible to a predator. But most of our feral cats will lay on our porch. We have some that are just letting us start touching them because it's like, look, you either let me touch you or you don't get fed. But I love it just to see the cats walking around. We've not had a problem in 4 years with any of our feral cats disappearing.
That's great. Yeah, and it's funny, like you said, how you had the 2 feral cats show up and it just started it for you because the first time that we went out to our property after we got it, I went and got some game cameras because I'm from the city. So I'm hoping to catch some deer and raccoons and possums and all kinds of wildlife on camera. And the first creature that I caught on camera was a cat.
Oh,
And I'm like, "Go figure, we're out in the middle of nowhere," because I think the closest neighbor is about a half a mile away. And I'm like, "Here's a cat showing up on our property," right?
yeah. There's your sign. What's really cool too is some nights when we put out the cat food for the feral cats, if it's kind of getting dark, we can look out our window and there will be a possum sitting right next to the cat eating.
Yeah, they seem to all get along with each other. I know that'll happen even out in the city because we do get a lot of possums in the city. And people say that the cats are such predators, but you'll see them sitting next to possums eating. Sometimes you'll even see them with a raccoon eating, and they all seem to get along with each other.
Yeah, I think they have an understanding between each other. And now I do know that a possum and a raccoon will go after a kitten, but they won't bother a full grown cat. But yeah, it's nice to watch. And then we have, I think it's a 10 by 20 building that we enclosed and put a pet door and it goes out into a catio. And that's what we've done with some of the tamer cats so that we can keep them safe and healthy. Because with the feral cats, we were able to set the live traps to catch them, but you can't approach them to do flea treatments or anything. So that makes it harder on them. And that's the only thing I wish I could figure out a system on how to do that because fleas are bad this year, really bad.
When the feral cats showed up and you trapped them for the TNR, has your colony stabilized after that? Or do you grow your colony by helping people that need to find a home for their feral cats? Or do you have any more feral cats showing up?
We do have some that show up, but they don't stay on the property. It's just like they're passing by and grabbing a bite to eat. And some people, when they surrender their cats to us after we evaluate the cat and see how the cat is or whatever, it may not be 100% feral, but that feral instinct is still in the cat. So they go out in the building and we can work with them better and get them used to being around humans. And it seems to work that way. But that's when I take a surrendered cat, if an adoptable one, I'm very picky about where they go. And my thought process, if they don't get adopted, they can stay on the sanctuary. I don't care. I'd like to find them a home, of course, to where they can have their own home and humans to bond with. But, and we've got so many cats that are just so lovable. And I'm like, why are y'all still here?
Yeah, it's crazy that people overlook a nice adult cat. Everybody goes after the kittens, and I do kitten rescue, I do bottle babies, and kittens are cute. I'll admit kittens are cute, but kittens are so messy. And it's like, and I tell people this all the time, you never know what that kitten is going to grow up to be like. It doesn't matter like how you raise them. They could be the sweetest kitten and then they grow up to be a very aloof adult. Or it
Hmm.
might be a kitten that has nothing to do with you, and then when they reach 6 months old, all they wanna do is sit in your lap now. And I always tell people when you if you know what you want in a pet or in a cat, pick an adult because you know what their personality is. There's so many of them that are so great. They're so easy to integrate into your house, provided, of course, that you do it the right way. You don't wanna just throw them in the middle of your house and say, "Here's your new home." But if you integrate them in and acclimate them to it, they just settle in nicely, and you have a really
They
wonderful pet.
do. And I do neonatal kittens. I think we've got like two of our incubators full right now. And it's just people bring in kittens. They're telling me they found them on the side of the road. And I said, you have to go through animal control. We can't take in strays. And then they finally tell the truth. My cat had kittens and I can't deal with kittens. I'm like, technically, your mama cat would be dealing with the kitten. And that's the best place for your kitten to be is with mama. But then when we go to look at the kitten, they're just covered in fleas. And it's like, how long has this kitten been like this? And they're like, oh, about a week. I'm like, it can take 10 fleas to take out a kitten this young from anemia, and they would crash. And that's the side that people don't realize as a rescuer that when we take in these bottle babies, yes, they are cute. Yes, it's fun feeding them, but that doesn't mean that they're going to be tamed their whole life. It doesn't mean they're instantly going to bond to any human either. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. And you said it's get the adult cat because they've already went through all of the other stuff. And the way they are now is pretty much the way they're going to be the rest of their life.
Yeah, and I just wish people would consider that, but it's hard to really reach people about that. And it's funny because people, when they go looking for a dog, they will gravitate towards a dog, not necessarily a puppy. But when it comes to a cat, it seems the majority of people just want to have a kitten.
Yeah, I can see both sides of it. But then with being in rescue, 9 times out of 10, in about 6 to 7 months, they're going to want to bring that kitten back because they didn't really listen to you. There is the newborn, there is the toddler, there is the teenager, and then there's the adult as far as in cats. And the toddler and the teenage phase that cats go through, that's when they usually bring them back. So I didn't realize they were going to be climbing my curtains. They'll climb a lot of stuff. So I still have my very first battle baby, Stormy, and I will never put Stormy up for adoption because I know how Stormy is. Stormy was the cute, cuddly kitten. All he wanted to do was lay on me, drink a bottle. He didn't like to see other kittens drinking. And when I go in there into the kitten room and he's in there, he'll come up and if I'm looking at something else, he'll take his paw and push my face to look at him. And I'm like, stingy much? But other people that come in there, he is very skittish. Even though he's been around humans his whole entire life, but he's still skittish. And that's just goes back to what you said. They can change. They're not only can their personalities change, but their hair length, the hair color. And most people, when they see kittens, they have blue eyes. Guess what? Their eyes aren't going to stay blue.
Yeah, that's my favorite, the blue eyes. And I'm like, oh, those eyes aren't going to stay blue. Oh, no, they're going to stay blue. And it's like, yeah, you can tell me that in a few more weeks and we'll see what color their eyes are then.
Yeah, they don't stay blue at all.
Now,
We have a black.
surprisingly, I just got some orange kittens in.
Oh,
And
wow.
I have been waiting and waiting for the eyes to change. They're 8 weeks old now. So one of them, her eyes are green. So she's orange, green eyes. And then I have a buff, blue eyes, and I have an orange and blue eyes. So that's their natural color, and which is very odd because I've never seen an orange cat with the blue eyes like that.
That kind of tells me there might be some Siamese in that cat.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, especially the little buff one because he just has that little Siamese attitude.
Yeah. Now we have a solid black cat. We call her Sabrina, and she has the prettiest, almost neon green eyes on a cat that I've never seen that color on a cat before. And it's just her eyes. And she's a good cat. There's this huge thing going around about shelters and humane societies wanting to be a no kill, and which is fine. But before you can get to a no kill, we need to start with no birth because these people, they're not having their animals spayed and neutered and they come to the rescues. People are smart. They know not to take them to animal control or humane society because they will more than likely just euthanize them. So they bring them to rescues and we're overcrowded. We're not funded by anybody like animal control and humane society. We're not funded by anybody. And I don't know about you, but a lot of the rescues that I'm in touch with, a lot of this money is coming out of our personal.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I've been seeing the trend too, like you said, with the people that they'll get the kittens and then they wait until their reproductive age and causing a whole bunch of problems because they're not spayed or neutered. And that's when they want to find a home for them. And right now, I have room at my rescue at our adoption center for some adults. And so I had somebody contact me today because they have two of them, but they're not spayed or neutered. And I'm like, by the time I can get them spayed or neutered and have them healed enough in time to be at the adoption center, all my kittens that I have are going to be ready. I have room now, but I don't have room next week, and I'm sure you understand that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we are currently closed for intake because, like I said, we've got 2 incubators. We've got the kitten room, and my adult room is full. I even have some kennels set up in my living room. Me and my husband at this point, we just pay the bills and sleep here. We no longer occupy the house, but animals do. It's just he knows how I am about animals. He travels for a living, so he's come home to chickens in the house. They wear diapers, but because they aren't mixing in with the flocks that we have. And most chickens don't like white chickens that are of different colors, and Autumn happens to be white, so she gets bullied a lot. I've got a piglet that walks around in the house with a diaper on until he gets ready to go outside. My concern is he doesn't know he's a piglet anymore because he's hanging out with 2 of our kittens and they're fine. But it's really sad because what's going on right now, we cannot rescue our way out of overpopulation. We can't. And at some point, commissioners, governors, and they're going to have to understand that. Department of Agriculture in Georgia will not let you get one of their spay and neuter grants until you've held a license for 1 year. You're putting a whole year gap to where I'm getting all these animals in and I'm sitting on $3,500 worth of vet bills right now. And it's like they don't consider these cats feral. They consider them abandoned. And I'm like, they're not abandoned. They're feral cats. So it's hard. It's just hard all the way around, but I'm not going to give up on them. That's for sure.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. Now, in your area, what do you think is the reason for the lack of spay neuter? What do you think is causing people to not go out and get spay and neuter done?
We do not have a local vet. They either have to drive 45 minutes to an hour to have the cat spay or neutered, and the cost of it. Because we have one place in Statesboro that already does it at a really good price for feral cats that have to be brought in traps. I think you can get like the full package deal where they get spayed, neutered, they get the rabies, and they get the feline for their upper respiratory and AIDS for $85. And some of the people in this area don't have the $85, much less don't want to make that drive there because you have to drop them off and then go back later about 3:30, 4 o'clock to pick them up. So that one of the biggest problems here is just not having a local vet and the community not having the money. Now they're quick to build the population. And I've always said there's more cats in Screven County than there are humans. I've never been in a county where there's any stray cats. But again, we can't rescue our way out of overpopulation. Something's going to have to be done.
Yeah, and in my area, we have some really good low cost programs, very low cost. And we still can't get people on board here. We don't have counties here in Louisiana. We have parishes. The parish that I'm in, Jefferson Parish, it's actually free to go get a feral cat fix.
Wow.
Yeah. And then when you talk about Orleans, where New Orleans is, and Jefferson Parish, we have both really low cost to go get a spay neuter done for an owned cat. And we still have a difficult time getting people on board with it. And I don't know what the issue is there. I know I always get the word out whenever I talk to somebody, whether I'm at an adoption event or a market and they bring up their animals. The first question I always ask is, okay, are they spayed and neutered? And what city do you live in? Because if they're not, I'm going to tell you where you have to go to get it done. And it's sad because some people are receptive to it and just other people are not. So we have the access to it here, but it's like you still can't get people on board. So it's a struggle.
It is a struggle. And even if it's the only animal in your home and they don't go outside, there's health issues that come with a cat or a female dog going through a heat cycle and nothing happening. And they don't go through menopause. Like they will have babies up until the day they die. When we done an event, we took plastic kitten figurines. We got like 200 of them off of Temu. And every time somebody walked up, we would give them a kitten and we would explain to them about spay and neuter and why it was so important and what one cat could do the first year of their life because they can get pregnant as early as 4 months. And they don't know what to do at 4 months if they're going to get pregnant. It's like, I wouldn't know what to do. So we gave out all but 25 of our cat figurines. That's how many people we were able to talk to. Now, did it go in one ear and out the other? Probably. I don't know why people are so against spaying and neutering their animal, but there is absolutely no medical reason why they need to stay intact and have reproductive organs if they're just your house cat. There's just no sense in it. One person was going to go have their cat neutered, and they said, because I'm tired of it spraying. Neutering is not going to keep your cat from spraying. They also spray from stress. So you're not going to stop that. So I don't know. What I'm trying to put together is kind of, I don't know how about when you grew up, there used to be a bus that come around to try and encourage kids to ride the bus to church. And so I'm trying to come up with a way that we can do that. I've got someone working on a grant for me to get a transport vehicle. And if they want their cat spayed or neutered, we will come pick the cat up. We will take the cat and we will bring the cat back. So that eliminates that part of it, the transportation part of it. And we've got a connection with a vet in North Carolina that if I bring in 30 cats, they would get all of their necessary vaccines, rabies, plus be spayed or neutered. And 30 cats it's only going to cost me $2,500 for 30 cats. And that's pretty good. So that's what I'm working on because I'm thinking 30 cats to begin with. If it goes good, then I do another 30 cats because between March and October is kitten season.
Yeah, that would definitely help put a dent in it. 30 cats, that's a good bit.
Yeah, that is a good bit. And a lot of people, they're here lately, their excuse is the cat's already pregnant. It still needs to go get spayed.
Yeah.
People are so against that. They think it's so cruel to spay abort. And I'm like, but why? What are you going to do with the 6, 8 kittens that cat might have? What are you going to do with them? They're going to end up in rescue. They're going to end up outside and turn into a feral cat. So now is the time to have your cat spayed.
Yeah. And another thing with that is the people that do that and they don't want to have these litters of kittens, they have these litters of kittens and they want to get rid of them right away. So they'll look for a rescue to take them, but rescues are swamped. We're all full. Once kitten season starts coming in, you don't have room. You have to go find a foster. And finding a foster takes a while. You don't just find a foster in a few hours. Sometimes it takes a few weeks to find a foster. So you try to help people out. You try to tell them, look, you take care of them. When the kittens are big enough, then we can go ahead and try to get the kittens spayed and neutered and then try to help you place them. But at least they'll be spayed or neutered. But they don't want to even wait. And it's like you're irresponsible with your animals. You let your animals reproduce. Your animals get pregnant. They have kittens. Now you want to give them away and you don't want to wait. So what they'll do is they'll just go find random people to give them to. And you're lucky if the kittens don't end up in a bad situation because there's plenty of bad situations that they can end up in. But if they do go to a home with somebody that actually wants a kitten and is going to take care of them, it's the same situation and the same cycle over because if they don't get that kitten fixed by the time it's 4 months old, it's reproducing again. And so then it just never ends. And I just really wish that people would be receptive to that because it's like that's the offer I always try to make them when I don't have room. Just hold on to them until they're 8 to 10 weeks old. When they're 2 pounds, we'll go ahead and we'll get them spayed or neutered. But it's like they want the problem gone right away and they just don't care.
And I always try and convince somebody too, can you foster in place? All the medical will be taken care of. We will send you food. You have to pull nothing out of your pocket. You just provide the place for the kitten and just foster in place until we can get room. And they don't want to do that either. Because in this area, I cannot find any fosters or volunteers, period. I don't know why. I have a puppy that has Jack Russell in it that desperately needs a foster because it needs to have more one-on-one time to teach the puppy manners and not to do this and not to do that. And I don't have that time because there's so many other animals. It takes us about 3.5 hours to do our morning routine. And that's going through and cleaning kennels, cleaning litter boxes, shoving everybody out into their run so we can clean the floors and the walls to help prevent any kind of disease or infection spread, and picking up the bowls and cleaning them, cleaning water containers, refilling them, walking the dogs to get them out to stretch their legs a little bit and playing with them. And then when you get done, you get like 2 or 3 hours and it's time to start over again. That's the side people don't see. They just think we're just sitting here collecting animals and think we make a profit. I know my rescue personally does not make a profit at all. I lose money. I definitely lose money with my adoption fees.
Yeah, when they see an adoption fee, they see the adoption fee as the spay, neuter, and the vaccines, and that's it. They don't see the back end of that adoption fee, which would be all the food and litter that you have to use to get them ready, all the medical, because babies get sick. You can't help it. Sometimes it's like nursery school. They're going to get sick. They're going to get upper respiratory infections, and they're going to
Mm-hmm.
need meds. They're going to need fluids sometimes. They need to go to the vet. And people don't see that side of it. And instead they think that you're making money off of an adoption.
Um, no way, you're losing money because we go through 600 pounds of cat litter a month. So I do have a company that I partnered with that will send me 50 pounds of cat litter for free. And then the concept is when someone adopts a cat, I give them the link and they go sign up. They get a free 20-pound bag of that litter if they like it, which all of the cats use the litter. It's all natural. And they can sign up to get litter delivered to their house. And from each person who purchases basically a subscription, our rescue gets $20. But it's just, we decided to go all natural because we have so many kittens. You're not, with as many cats as we have inside of our house, you're not going to get rid of that smell. I don't care what kind of litter. I don't care what it promises. No, it's not going to happen.
How do you handle your adoptions? What venues do you use to get them adopted?
I use Pet Finder. I think I'm on, I can't remember the name of it. I think rescue.org, and then just advertising them on the Facebook page and hoping people will share. But I have OJ. He's completely ready to go. He's been completely ready to go. And he's one of the ones that him and his brother PJ is like, why are y'all still here? Y'all are real cute. You're real loving. You don't mess up anything. They're not messy with their litter box at all. You're a dream cat. And they're still here. So we're going to start doing adoption events, I think, next month, and just taking the cats and some of the dogs and letting people interact with them and stuff. And if they want to adopt, they have to go fill out the adoption application. They have to sign the adoption contract, which in our contract states they cannot surrender the dog or cat to animal control or humane society. They have to bring the animal back to us. They cannot rehome the cat or dog. They have to bring it back to us. And they can't have the animal euthanized unless it is medically necessary, deemed by a veterinarian, and we have to see that. And if they break any of those rules, they can be fined up to $15,000. Because I don't want you adopting an animal from me just to later rehome it because it was doing something you didn't agree with. Bring it back, tell us what's wrong, let us work it out so that we can be transparent for the next person. But I had just found out by luck that one of the people who adopted one of my Siamese rehomed it for 25 bucks.
Oh, wow.
Uh, yeah, the lady reached out to me and I was going to be ugly and mean, but after doing her reference checks and I was like, okay, this cat is going to be in a good home. So I let it go. And I know the person that adopted from me, she wouldn't have been able to pay a fine. I just mainly put that in there because I hope people realize that it's okay if you have to bring them back. Just tell us why. You don't be scared to. I would much rather them come back to me than end up in an animal shelter or humane society or in the wrong hands of somebody that
Yeah.
does awful things with kittens.
Yes, all of the rescues that are in our area, they all have that in their contract that if you can't keep the animal for any reason, they ask you bring it back. And I run a couple of lost pets and rehoming sites on social media, and I see people all the time. They're giving away cats and adult cats. It seems like everybody is giving away adult cats right now. And so I'll always ask them, where did the cat come from? And sometimes they'll say, "Oh, I got it from such and such a place." And I'm like, "Okay, then if you got it over here, that's this rescue. You need to call them up. They're going to take their cats back." And sometimes they won't even contact them. So if it's somebody that I notice or somebody I have contacts with, they'll alert them to the post so they can get involved. But if you're desperately looking for somebody to take your cat, the rescue's going to take your cat back, but you don't want to call the rescue and tell them.
Yeah, that's what gets me. That's what gets me is why do you want to get rid of it and giving it away for free when you know the rescue and most rescues will come pick them back up if they're within a certain distance. You don't even have to bring it to us. We'll come get it. I don't understand people with animals. I really don't. A lot of this is common sense. I don't understand people. We have a Yorkie. He's intact. And the only reason he's intact is because he cannot be anesthetized at all. He was sedated to be groomed and he had such a bad reaction to that. The vet was like, he can never be anesthetized. And he's 10 years old now. So I don't have any females, but these people giving away adult cats right now, if it's a female, it's because she's walking around doing her mating call or spraying to try and get the attention of a male cat. Or if it's a male cat that they have and not neutered, they don't realize even though that cat's inside your house, it can still smell a cat and heat. And so now he's going around marking because he's trying to get to the cat and heat.
Yeah, I just saw a video a few minutes before the call, and it was this girl, and she said her cat had gotten outside. So she brought the cat back in the house. He's standing at the window and he's howling. And so she's looking for veterinary help online. Why is my cat making this noise? I took him to the vet. The vet said he's fine, but I need some help because my cat is at the door, at the window, making all this noise. He's walking around the house doing this. So I knew what it was right away. I'm like, oh, he's not neutered. Well, turns out, of course, that's what it was. He was not neutered.
And that's why a lot of people go and have kittens fixed when they are of the right weight. Because if you don't let them experience that manhood or the womanhood, then they won't react when they get older to, especially the male cats will not react to a female being in heat because they won't know what that is because they've never had hormones go through them. And so a lot of people don't realize that either. And it's like, just, they think that 2 pounds is too small. Okay. Wait till your 2 pound kitten that you decided not to have starts giving birth in a couple of months. They're too young to have babies too. But I try and get all of these kittens fixed as soon as the vet says, okay, they can be fixed. And because she's not going to fix them if they're on a medication for a URI or anything else. She wants to get them better because she knows kittens that young can crash quickly. Blood sugars can drop, blood pressure can drop while they're anesthetized to be fixed. So she wants them healthy before she does it, which is fine with me, as long as it gets done. It's just, to me, it's just putting them in, like we have the man cave and we have the woman cave. So we keep them separated, the ones that aren't fixed, and we slowly get them in to get fixed. But yes, people don't even know these out- female cats. It's not like dogs where they go and heat every 3 6 months. There is actually a kitten season that runs from March to October. And that one season, that mama can have at least at tops, probably 3 litters, if not more.
Yeah, it's an astronomical number when you look at it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
by the time those kittens are 4 months old, so it's like the mom cat will give birth to the kittens, have kittens. Those kittens are weaned. The mom cat gets pregnant. And by the time the mom cat has that litter of kittens, the first batch of kittens is probably having its own kittens.
Yep. And that's the cycle's easy to be broke. You just have to go and spay and neuter. And I don't know why that's so scary or hard for people to understand, but I get the ones that don't have transportation or the finances. But for all the other people who are living in extremely nice homes and driving nice cars and have their nails done every week, what's your excuse?
Yeah, that's a good question.
You go 1 week without having your nails done, that'll cover a spay. Yeah.
Do you find that you do more sanctuary then compared to your actual adoptions?
Yes. Yes, I do. Also, mainly any animal I also take in or is taken in under the sanctuary. You don't have to have a shelter license to run a sanctuary. So, not knowing the situation of the animal coming in, I bring them in under the sanctuary to where they can go through all the medical checks, get vaccines and whatever. And then I put them on the rescue side of it where I start posting their pictures on our website and advertising them. But like we got 2 German Shepherds from a court case where it was a police officer who actually had a canine business and was training these dogs. And it's like, how do you spend so much time training these dogs who know good commands and then turn around and starve them? Because when they come to us, they were 30 pounds.
Oh, wow.
And we've got them at their ideal weight of 72 pounds now. But I can tell you right now, these 2 German Shepherds, I'm not going to feel comfortable adopting them out because Faith will not make eye contact with you at all. So, I'm worried about her. And Flora she's got a lot of built up energy. Somebody would have to really convince me that they are very experienced in the GSD and they understand their activity level and that they need a job and how to handle them. They would not be able to go into a home that had cats or other dogs. If you have small children, these dogs are going to have to be kenneled and you're going to teach your child not to stick their finger in it. And that's not fair to them. So, with all the stipulations that I have on these 2 shepherds, they're not going to get adopted.
Now,
You know, so
with you being primarily a sanctuary, do you think that limits your opportunity at grants?
no, because I apply for grants under the rescue. It's just we've only had our shelter license come this October for a year. And I have found it's very hard when you don't have a revenue to show some of these places that are doing the grants and you don't have that intake to adoption ratio to show them because you're just beginning and you've only had your shelter license a year. That's what makes it hard to get a grant.
Yeah, that's actually what I meant was the actual adoption numbers. Because I've heard this from another lady that does primarily just all sanctuary, and she does a lot of adult cats and adult dogs and more special needs type cases. So ones that are difficult to
Mhm.
adopt. And
Yep.
so she does have a hard time sometimes getting grants because she doesn't have those numbers showing all these adoptions. And I know that a lot of the times that is a requirement is that you have to show that you have so many adoptions before you're even eligible to get a grant.
Oh, yeah. And that's what makes it hard on the small rescues. And then there's also that gatekeeping from rescues that have been open for a while and they have contacts but they gatekeep it. It's a competitive thing in this area with rescues. And it's like we should all have the same goal at the end of the day, which is to either provide a happy, safe, lovable place for this animal to live or be able to adopt them out to a happy, safe, lovable place to live. There should be no competitive or whatever. And I share other rescues because if I see them sharing a dog 3 or 4 times, I'm going to start sharing it because maybe my reach in my area is looking for that type of dog. And it's just wherever that rescue's at, maybe that's not the type of dog people like. Because there is that the designer dogs, of course, get adopted really quick, the little small designer dogs. And of course, your nanny dogs, which is what I refer to them, but they're pit bulls. Anything mixed with a pit bull is not going to get adopted. That's just plain and simple. And I don't know why, other than the horror stories of what's been put on the news of what pit bull's done. But it's why can't we talk to the owner and find out how did you raise this dog? What was the purpose of this dog when you got it? And then turned around and had a child. Because if you were raising that dog to be aggressive and to guard your house, then you should have never let your child around that dog. That's just common sense. We had shepherds growing up, and my dad would keep Smokey put up, and he only come out of his kennel at night because that's what he'd done. He guarded the house, but we were never around him when he was out because he was an aggressive dog. So it's just common sense. It does not exist anymore. I've never attempted to get a grant for the sanctuary, but I know you could probably Google grants for sanctuaries because, again, that's where common sense come in. The people doing the grants, if they advertise rescue shelters and sanctuaries, then they should know if you call on your sanctuary, you're not going to have those adoption numbers because you're a sanctuary, which means that animal is going to live their life out there, not get adopted. So I don't know. I have the mayor of our town helping me with a couple of grants right now because she's good at grant writing.
Oh, that's wonderful.
We're going to try and get a transportation van. I really want to help the community by being the bus. You're trying to take some excuses away. If I can remove your excuses, then will you allow me to do this? And that's what I'm going for. Because I thought it's just my favorite tagline now is you can't rescue your way out of overpopulation. You just can't. And the hardest part is saying no.
It is. It is, especially when you see so many of them that you do want to help because you know that they might be in a bad situation. But if you're full, it is very
Mm,
difficult.
it is. It's very difficult.
Before we end the call, can you tell people how they can find out about Kindred Tail Sanctuary?
Yes, we have a Facebook page, would be listed as Kindred Tail Sanctuary CO. And then our website is kindredtailsanctuary.org.
Okay, great. I'm going to
And
include those in the show notes too so people can go to your links.
okay, that would be awesome. And if someone wants to make donations or sign up to volunteer or foster and they're within the area, you can find all of those applications on the website and the donation site. Volunteering to somebody in another state, we have a couple of openings for remote volunteers that we need. So we could use some volunteers.
And I know you said you're in Georgia, but what city are you in?
We're in Newington, Georgia. So we are about an hour from Savannah, Georgia.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show today to talk about what you do. And good luck on getting that grant. I really hope you get it.
Thank you for having me. And I enjoyed being on the show, and I'll keep you posted about it.
Yeah, please do. Please do. Because we would love to put an update on the air or something or just in the show notes. If you do get it, that would be a great update to add. I would love to find out.
Thank you so much.
That's it for today's episode of Animal Posse. If you love what we're doing, please consider becoming a member. Your support directly helps us continue highlighting the people and stories that save lives across the country. Just a quick reminder, the views and opinions expressed by our guests are theirs alone and are provided for entertainment purposes. They don't necessarily reflect the official position of the show, and this information should never replace the advice of your own veterinarian. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Bars in the night, claws in the fight, whiskers twitch and tails take flight. They're calling in stories to spin from the wild to the heart within. Broken wings and hopeful springs, we're the voices for these things. Animal Posse, hear the call. We stand together, big and small. Rescue tales, we've got it all. Animal Posse, saving them all. The vet's got tips, the rescuer's grit, the foster homes where love won't quit. From a pup in the rain to a bird in pain, every soul's worth the strain. Animal Posse, hear the call. We stand together, big and small. Rescue tales, we've got it all. Animal Posse, saving them all. Every caller tells a tale, every howl a whispered wail. We rise up, we never fail. This is the bond, the holy grail. Animal Posse, hear the call. We stand together, big and small. Rescue tales, we've got it all. Animal Posse, saving them all. Every caller tells a tale, every howl a whispered wail. We rise up, we never fail. This is the bond, the holy grail.